Whitney Owens here. Hope y'all are doing all right with the quarantine. I'm here to talk to you this week about marriages and communication within your marriage or with your significant other, people that you're living with during the quarantine, because we all need help managing relationships while in the quarantine. So today I'm going to talk about the 4 different communication styles and relate them to animals, because why not? Because animals are cool, and so we might as well use those to understand the way that we communicate. So there's 4 different animals I'm going to talk about, and the most important is the last one, because that is who we want to be. Okay? Number 1, the dog. Dogs are seen as passive. The definition of the dog is violating your own rights by failing to express your own honest feelings, thoughts, and belief, and consequently allowing others to violate your rights. The purpose of a dog is to be liked and accepted, avoiding unpleasant and risky situations. So when you're thinking about the 4 communication styles, the dog is the one that's not paying attention to things, or that's only doing things to make other people happy, saying the right thing to make someone else happy. So let's talk about attitude. The dog's attitude is I'm not okay and everyone else is okay, so I'm going to do everything I can to make other people feel better, which in result creates a low self-esteem. Right? So feelings are provoked in others when they interact with them. Other people feel irritated, they feel guilty, they feel frustrated, because the dog's never telling anybody what they actually want, right? So the consequence is doesn't achieve their desired goal, which their desired goal is actually for someone to just like them for who they are, but they don't give people a chance to know who they are. Okay? Some common language that a dog might say is, oh, it's nothing, or, oh, that's all right, I didn't want anything anyway. Okay? So you don't want to be passive in that way in your marriages, because then your spouse or your significant other is going to be frustrated because you're not actually verbalizing what your needs are. Number 2, kind of the opposite, is the lion. And we see the lion as the aggressor in the relationship. So someone who's a lion is having an aggressive attitude in their communication. They're directly standing up for their rights and expressing their own thoughts and feelings without considering the other's thoughts and feelings. And so it's pretty easy for a relationship to come together where one's the lion and one's the dog, right? Because you've got an aggressor and someone who's passive, so they easily come together. But the problem is, when those 2 people come together, both of them actually don't get what they really need, right? So when we're talking about the lion, the aggressor, they often are characterized as rude, obnoxious, domineering, or superior. They overreact to situations with outright attacks and anger. We probably all know people that are like that in our lives, right? So this makes other people feel put down. So if you can imagine the dog and lion together, the dog doesn't feel good about themselves, and then the lion comes and attacks, and then the dog even feels worse. So we've got this spiral interaction going on, right? So feelings that are provoked in other people by the lion would be hurt, defensiveness, anger, worthlessness, embarrassment. Some of the verbal language that the lion uses is you statements. So accusatory, descriptive to other people, making them feel bad. So do it my way. That's just about enough of that. They also often use sarcasm, name calling, and threatening in their conversations. Okay, so the lion needs to calm down, right? Now, we're going to talk about the passive aggressive. So this is a little combo, right, of the passive one and the aggressive one. And that would be the turtle, right? Because we know that turtles suck their little head in, and then out it comes, and they attack people, right? And so we don't want to be that either. So the turtle, the definition involves expressing their needs and feelings in an unclear way. And we all know people that tell us what they need, and we're like, I don't really understand exactly what you're saying, right? That's the turtle. The purpose is expressing themselves without actually having to say how they feel or what they actually want, right? Because that's scary for them to acknowledge their emotions and what their actual needs are, because what if their needs aren't met? Their attitude is, you're not okay, but I'll let you think that I'm okay, even though I'm really not. The feelings they invoke in other people are confusion, frustration, distrust, feeling they're being taken advantage of. And some of the consequences is they may achieve goals, but the behavior reinforces a low self-esteem and unable to have close relationships with people because they don't actually verbalize appropriately what their needs are. Often we see with the turtle, the passive-aggressive, we see sarcasm, teasing, ridiculousness, and false praise. Now, the fourth one that we've all been waiting for is the owl. The owl is the assertive communicator, and that's what we want to be. We want to be able to express what we need in an appropriate way to people. So the definition of the owl is standing up for personal rights and expressing their own thoughts and feelings and beliefs in a direct, honest, and appropriate way, which does not violate someone else's rights. The purpose is communicating their ideas and their feelings in a clear way without humiliating themselves or other people. Their attitude is, I'm okay and you're okay. They respect others. They're willing to make compromises. They make others feel respected and valued for who they are. Some of the verbal language is I statements, which is exactly what I did the video on yesterday. So if you didn't see that, go back to that on what an I statement is. But assertive people often use I statements, right? Now, because you're assertive doesn't mean that you don't feel things, doesn't mean you don't have conflict, but you know how to appropriately address the conflict in a way that respects other people. So as I read through these, you might be thinking, feeling, oh, I relate to, because sometimes we're going to relate to some in certain relationships more than others. So you might feel like an owl in some relationships, a turtle in other relationships. So I want you to think about the way that you interact and find ways to become more assertive in what you're doing and being able to acknowledge the way that you're acting and apologize for it if necessary. I will throw this flyer into the Facebook group or onto the Facebook page if I can figure that out, and that way you can look at it and review it. And if you're needing any kind of therapy, wanting to work on your marriage or your communication, we can do that over at Water's Edge Counseling. Just give us a call.